I think compliance, we all agree, I guess, compliance doesn't mean safety or security. Right? So, and when we talk about compliance, then it's always the question about which compliance. Most in my former jobs, we had 40 plus different regulators. So what is the compliance requirement really? So if we are going back to the base and we say, hey, look, we have a control framework which we monitor, which we have under control, where we know things, as mentioned, about drift, and where we know things about maturity, we can pretty nicely manage towards a compliance framework, yes, but for the main purpose, which is the value of the company, is to manage our risk exposure, right? And so we define for ourselves how we measure risk, which standard we're using, what risk appetite we have. And if we do this consistently, I think we are in a much, much better place than most of the others. And by the way, this whole compliance against standard A, B, C, and regulator D, E, F mostly comes as a side product with it, because simply the controls are more or less for everyone the same. They have different interpretation, different levels. But if you have a solid NIST ISO-based control framework, you're in a pretty good place to start with. And then you can talk about risk, and you can talk about business, and you can talk about impact, and not about compliance. And I think every company who is at that point where they can articulate risk pretty nicely on the first and second level, and have a governance process which makes clear that the way up is clear and transparent, are in a much better place. And as I said, compliance will come with it, with a couple of little tweaks here and there as a byproduct.